Settings for YouTube. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Monday night stream. Best thing about clams is the butter. Well, clams are kind of disgusting, so I would agree the best thing about clams is the butter. Welcome everyone to the Monday night live stream. We have really no agenda, so you guys are going to drive the show, whatever you guys want to talk about. As long as it's fish related, at least in the first hour, we will talk about fish related things. Golden freshwater clams. Interesting. Gross. I prefer fried. All clams are gross. Let's be real. Don't even act like they're not. Just gonna make sure we're live. People are saying hi. Hello, hello, hello. You prefer fried clams? I prefer fried chicken, my friend. Fried chicken. We'll give this a couple minutes for people to join in and get their notifications and watch the commercial and give you time to share out the stream so we can get more people in here. That would be pretty fun, I feel. Had a lot of people waiting. I think we had almost 50 people waiting, which is pretty sweet. Of course I can't see because my camera's blocking it, but yeah. All right, coming back. How big will my dojo loach get? Well, it depends. At least a foot, though. At least a foot. I'm definitely not a dojo loach expert, though. So maybe someone in chat can answer. Loving the background. Yeah, we got some corridoras. Oh, we can zoom in on this school of rasboras. Hey, hey, hey. Jeez, get away from me. Just got a dojo loach. Well, the nice thing about dojo loaches is that they're very hardy and they can go in cooler water, which is kind of nice. Anybody else got a free 2 weeks of YouTube Premium? I pay for my premium and I will say that it is worth every penny. It is, I think, $10 a month and totally worth it. Where's the technical difficulties music? You need to start every stream with that? Well, I'm pretty sure we had no technical difficulties, knock on wood, on this stream yet. So if it warrants it, it will come up, I promise. Carol Cox says, I love my new fish, rainbows and cories. How could you not love either of those? And almost the perfect combination. The only thing you're missing, if they're in the same tank, is some epistogrammas. That is the trifecta. Pistos, cories, and rainbows. My teenage angels are turning into jerks. Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Premium is totally worth it. Kelly says, I agree. I didn't have it for a very long time. Corey finally talked me into it, and I'll never not have it again. Also, a pair of Cactus Woo Man says, also got a pair of orange Venezuelan corridoras. Also a very nice corridora. Should get a couple more though. Couple more. Regina, hello. Rach, hello. Well, I'm just gonna say hello to everyone. Paul, Xanadudu, K-Stew, everyone, Candy. Evening, everybody. Thanks for having me last week. It was fun to sit on that side of the stream. I know I missed some questions last week. Feel free to ask if I did. Aquascaping and watching. Danny wanted to do another video to answer all the questions she missed, and I was like, relax, dude. I miss like 1,000 questions every week. It's all right. It's not a big deal. The video is so crystal clear. Yep. You should be, well, I'm streaming in 4K, so you should be picking me up in 4K. And we got a nice clean tank in the background, and it looks good, I think. Who just noticed new tank background? Technically not new, though. Technically not new. I have used this before. James Holbrook starting out the night with a $5 super chat says, the beast of ping pong. I was my junior high champ in 1981. We need to play. You know, there's been a lot of ping pong talk going on around here. And, I mean, I can't be beat. It's impossible. I just can't. I'm way too good. It'll never happen. It's just the way it is, you know? It's like death and taxes. You just got to accept it. Fish Tank Barn with a $10 super chat. If you guys are looking for some different types of fish that you don't see very often in the hobby, I would go check out his channel. He just did a cool video on Lemia species. The Mr. Fish Tank Barn. I don't know why I said Mr., but you guys should check it out. It's pretty cool. I love Lemias. I'm hoping to get some in the new fish room. When that ever gets done, I don't know. I only get 720p. Maybe that's just me. I prefer air hockey. I'm a 2-time air hockey champion, so yeah. What can I say? What can I say? Bob, you totally look like you are underwater. Well, there is like the shimmer going on in the back. That's in the tank though. That's the tank. Did you move? Anyone need a roommate? I need to move. I have not moved yet. Although things are looking better. My new studio is just about wrapped. Well, actually there's a long ways to go, but the hard part's over. The fish room, still got a little wiring to do. I didn't get to work on the fish room at all last week, which was kind of unfortunate. But hopefully this week, a lot of parts I had to order just came in 2 or 3 days ago. So hoping to be back in the fish room tomorrow, finishing up electrical. And then I get to do what I'm not looking forward to, which is plumbing. I have a lot of experience in electronics and electrical and wiring when it comes to cars. So I was a little nervous about doing, home wiring, but in the end, it was just 3 wires. It was super easy. Now, plumbing, I have 0 experience, and I'm going to be hacking into some mainframes and stealing some water. So it should be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but it is going to be DIY, so time will tell. Lady Aquatics with a $5 super chat says, what size tank is that? This is a 90 gallon aquarium. Actually, I wrote that down because I knew people were going to ask. So, Timothy Darling with the $5 super chat says, how is it going? It is going really well. Thank you. I appreciate it. 156 people on. Hit the like button. Yeah, don't forget, hit the like. Background looks great. 2 best Zoom meeting backgrounds are a tank or ice fishing. Ice fishing. That is something I want to go ice fishing, but not to fish. But I just want to camp out on the ice. I don't know why. Just something I want to do before I die. Bob, now that it's warming up, will you be doing some extended backpacking? Yes. Yep. Unfortunately, the outdoor stuff has taken a bit of a backdoor as far as priorities. Got a lot of stuff going on right now, but we'll get back out there when things settle down, and definitely we'll be seeing some more content on the outdoor channel. I know I've been saying that for like the last month straight, but it's coming. I mean, it's just pouring down rain right now, and we're all kind of tired of camping in the rain, hiking in the rain. So we're just waiting. James with the $5 super chat says, I concede defeat Sir Steenfott. I'm not worthy. Oh man, I just love ping pong. It's always been fun. Just put an acrylic spawning mop in my tank. Is it safe with my lemon pleco? She's hanging on it. Don't want to harm her. I've never had any negative experiences with acrylic yarn with any fish. I've never done, wait, what kind of pleco? Lemon? Okay, yeah, so I have done it in bristlenose tanks and never been an issue. Never. Hi, and thanks for the super chat, Chevy Fish. Thank you for that. Stu Dog says, Steenfott Aquatics, how often do cribs lay eggs even if they don't hatch? They have spawned once, but they didn't hatch. When will they spawn again? Do you know? If they're still happy, they will spawn like weekly. If you keep that female nice and plump, she will spawn nonstop. I mean, those things are like guppies. It's ridiculous. Oh, hey, hi everyone, and Bob, I wandered away for a few minutes. Barbara Jackson, how's it going? Good to see you. I was just cleaning up my old office and found the card you sent me, and I don't know if I ever thanked you, but I do want to say thank you now. So thank you. And I'm not saying that I found it and just now read it. I'm saying I came across it again. So there you go. I have a 75 started with a 10-gallon 3 months ago. Nice. Nice. Going from 10 to 75 is a huge jump, and it's a lot of fun. Kelly says, at Danny, I have very tiny pond, but it's packed with plants and goldfish. It's my favorite part of summer. I use bog filter too. I'm really looking forward to getting my tubs set up. I'm going to be doing, hopefully, bluefin killifish, a Florida native, and some goodeids, I think, as well. And I don't know what else yet, but those two for sure. Trout goodeids and bluefin killifish, and we'll see what else happens when it comes time. Do Siamese algae eaters eat green hair algae? What about blackbeard? So they will go after green hair algae. I've never seen them go after blackbeard. That doesn't mean that they won't. But the only thing I've ever seen go after blackbeard is like flagfish. I'm sure there's other stuff, but not for me. It's never worked for me. Who wants to give me a food flake brand besides Extreme? What do you got against Extreme, buddy? Do you like King Kong parrot cichlids? Negative. But that doesn't mean we can't be friends. We just have different tastes in fish. That's all. Not a big deal. Malta Hijacker with a $10 super chat says, hey Bob, hope you're doing good. Was wondering if Mono CB are freshwater. They are not, unfortunately. Multiple sources say different things, so I was wondering about your opinion. So there's, I will say, I think there's, if I remember correctly, there's one species that's freshwater. Just one. The species that's going around in the hobby lately is definitely brackish. Definitely brackish. At least all the ones I've seen, like on my wholesale list, on retail list. I know at one point Corey from Aquarium Co-op was sent them on accident, and they were definitely brackish. That was quite some time ago, but still, it happened. So all the ones I've seen in the hobby have always been brackish. But I do think, if I remember correctly, there was one species, but the Mono CB or whatever that is, that specific one is definitely brackish. Steenfott Aquatics got some rocks and driftwood for my new 75-gallon. Haven't set it up yet. Building my own stand. What rainbows are your favorites for this size tank? There's so many. If you go and look at my like top 5, it's either top 5 rainbow fish or top 5 beginner rainbow fish. All of those would do well. I'm partial to Park and Sonai rainbows. They are always some of my favorite, so I would do that if I could find them. Like all Extreme except cat scrapers. Cat scrapers? Setting up a mini pond on my patio. Super excited. Shameless plug. Nothing wrong with that. Paul McCarthy says, picture quality looks awesome. This is the quality I was going for last week. And unfortunately, I had to make Danny sit through all of the technical difficulties. I decided to change everything the week she decided to show up. And so during that stream, I had to switch back to a different camera, which is why we didn't have as good as quality. But now we're back to a 4K camera. If anyone's curious, I'm using this Sony 6400 to live stream with. It's pretty awesome. And speaking of guests, I am currently in negotiations with Jimmy. So if my people and his people can work out an agreement, a nice little contract. However, I mean, he's kind of a diva. He wants a lot of money. So hopefully we'll work it out and have him on the stream soon. And that will be pretty cool. It's always way more fun to have guests on the stream than to do this, by myself. So that'll be fun. Have I heard of flamingo cichlids? Negative. Maybe if you have a scientific name, but flamingo cichlids doesn't ring any bell with me. What's the deal with rainbow fish? Why are they so popular? Well, one, they're super active, which is always a plus in a fish. I mean, plecos are awesome, but we all don't like fish that just sit in one spot for 25 hours a day. So they're super active. They're colorful. You can get them in any color you want. You can get them in. They're schooling fish, and I mean, yeah, they're just awesome. The only downfall is that they're still fairly expensive. But I have a feeling since they've been gaining so much popularity the last few years, the prices may start coming down. And I've already seen them come down to what they were like 5 years ago. So Tesla Killed Dozer says, love the background, Bob. Thank you, Tesla, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, this background, I don't remember who gave it to me. So I can't give them a plug or a shout out. I've been sitting on this background for years and years, believe it or not. So, yeah. And the nice thing, the cool thing about this background, actually, is that it's not like just a 5-minute video. This is actually a 30-minute video, so it's only going to loop 4 times in this live stream, which is kind of cool. Do it, little Bob. I have no idea what that means. My dogs are going crazy. I apologize if you can hear that. Gotta love those $100 plecos that you only see when you clean the tank. Hell, I'll have too many of those. I definitely have my fair share still. I don't know, can you guys hear that? They're getting kind of rowdy. My bristlenose does nothing 40 hours a day. See, I would say that bristlenose plecos, of all the plecos, are probably one of the more active ones. The most, what would be the most active pleco I've ever owned? Probably, I have to say like a rubber lip pleco. Every time I keep rubber lip, I feel like they're just always out doing something. A puppy scuffle. Yep, they're going at it pretty good. I got some Melanotania Goldii Curii. I'm sure I mispronounced that. Coming soon. That's a really cool one. All Goldiis from any collection point are really nice. Supper is ready. Gotta go. I love y'all. CJ Black, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a good dinner. That is awesome. Congrats. Clown plecos are the least active. I will agree, but I'll also say they're like the most bulletproof. I feel like if you want a bulletproof pleco, it's the clown pleco, and they don't get gigantic, which is nice. So a lot of positive things with the clown plecos, but they're definitely like the fish you see every 6 months, I feel. Denny's life, of course it is. It wouldn't be a Hillstream tank without Hillstream loaches. I'm also thinking of fan shrimp, but I'm not sure what else. Oh boy, let's see how bad I'm going to butcher this. Mr. Easy. Oh, that was way simpler once I. Mr. Easy Go Lucky. I don't know why I thought that was going to be hard, but don't have any fish now. Bred marble angels in the past, but enjoy your stream, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. I was thinking like Marysville. I don't know where I was going with that with your name, but Mr. Easy Go Lucky, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, and hopefully maybe we can get you back in the hobby. And thank you for the super chat. Caleb Gates says floating plants for multis. How to control BB-8 on shells and diatoms on glass. So diatoms is usually a sign of overfeeding unless it's a new tank. All right, if I have diatom algae on a tank that's less than 6 months old, I wouldn't honestly worry about it at all. That should settle down and go away. It's very common to get diatom algae on new tanks. However, if it's an older tank, then it's usually a sign of overfeeding. And, just cut back on your feeding and maybe do an extra water change here or there. And plants, any floating plants for multis will do well. They'll leave the plants alone. I just would not do duckweed because duckweed is the worst. But red root floaters are my favorite. Water lettuce is pretty bulletproof for me. Is rent expensive there? Rent is out of control. If you could find a place for, I don't know, dude, rent is ridiculous. It's like a 1,200 square foot house. You're talking like $2,500. And that's if you can get it. So, yeah, the housing market here is terrible. It is absolutely terrible. Rent is way more expensive than mortgages. It's crazy. Amanda says, my super chat button flashed blue. I think it's trying to tell me something. Me too. Me too. It's telling you I'm blue and I need a super chat. Everyone have a great evening. I got to go. Timothy, darling. I hope that people aren't rewatching this and not looking at stream and think they're going to think I'm calling you darling. Oh, Timothy, darling. Have a good night, darling. Oh boy. That's like, I don't know. If that's your real name, that's cool. But if that's like a troll name, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Candy, will you prove your super mod powers by modding Dan's fish on the 20th? That's an interesting call out, but okay. Rent in California for a 2-room is $2,800 right now. Yeah, the housing market's insane. It is just, it's brutal. And it doesn't help that the price of wood, for no reason at all, is skyrocketing out of control. Okay, I forgot to hit it. Candy Overhaul, stop yelling at me. Hope you're doing well. I paid $1,800 a month back in 2005 for a 2-bedroom apartment. The one and only apartment I ever lived in was a 1,200-ish 2-bedroom apartment. And it was like $700. Of course, this was like, oh, this was a very long time ago. Have I seen Meteor Goldfish? Meteor Goldfish. I have not. Okay, Fred, hit it. You should see rent in North New York City. Yeah. The problem is not only the price, it's availability. There's nothing to rent here. So if you find a place, you're competing with over 100 people. So it's rough. It's really rough. I have a 20 by 18 by 21 cube that I'm not sure what to do with. What would you stock it with? Just looking for ideas. Jason, I love apistos in cube tanks. I know I say apistos for almost any tank, but I really like apistos in cube tanks. I don't know why. Every time I've seen it done, I really like it. And that's my suggestion. Apistogrammas. What causes BBA? How to get rid of it? So blackbeard algae, well, if you don't do like tank maintenance for a long time, you overfeed, you have stagnant water. Blackbeard algae loves stagnant water. It hates flow. So if you can do something to increase the flow, it'll usually start to die back. But yeah, usually just stagnant water. When I have like a hang-on back filter that goes out and I don't fix it for a couple days, or, well, realistically like a week, then I'll start getting that blackbeard algae, and it's awful. It's awful. I mean, I don't mind it too much. Out of all the algaes, blackbeard is probably like my second favorite, but it once it gets out of control though, it's a pain in the butt. Have I ever had a pet reptile? I've had a billion of them. Like, I've had almost, I don't know where I was going with that, but I've had a lot. Like, seriously, like hundreds. How do you feel about Hydra in a community tank? It has CPDs, Chili Rasboros, a mono Scarlet Batis, and a single male Apisto. I don't know, Keith, if that's a tank that I would want Hydra in. Most of my tanks have rainbow fish, which eat Hydra, so, like, me personally, I would not feel bad or, worried about Hydra in my tank because it'll eventually get eaten. But you have a lot of small fish, and it could become a problem if the Hydra gets out of control. So I would just keep an eye on it. Bob, can you buy some land and build something small or set a camper on it? So the issue is that you can't, well, one, land is crazy expensive. So in my area, like a quarter acre is usually between 250 and 300,000, and you can't get financed for land. You usually have to put 50% down because there's no like home collateral equity, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's really hard. And of course I'm talking to Tiffany White, so you should know that, but I'm sure you know that. But yeah, land is ridiculous here. I did find a 1/4 acre on an island for about 8,000, and there were several plots, and I was like, I'll just go buy those. But there's no internet, so that didn't work. I can't exactly do my job without any internet. Almighty Wissasin says, do you think ferts are required? I don't think they're required. Definitely required on some plants, and it really depends on what you want to do with your plants on if it's required. There's a lot of plants that'll just stay the way they are and not grow without fertilizers. There's plants that will grow with fertilizers, and there's plants that will not grow without fertilizers. So it really depends on what you're going for. If you want like really lush, good looking plants, then I would probably fertilizer. And fertilizer is generally pretty cheap anyways. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives. 2,600 for apartment that's 732 square feet. Yeah, we're trying to catch you, so it's definitely not that bad. Rachel said I'm making the hour move to the Bay from Sacramento because our rent is on par with the Bay now. Interesting. How do I perform a fish in cycle? I'm a beginner. Bob Jones. So first of all, you want to be very careful about what fish you're getting. There's not a lot of fish that I would do a fish in cycle. Probably one of the, I mean, I would do like maybe guppies. I would definitely I would have no problems with white clouds. There's a few species of tetras that you could do it with too. But really, your best bet is to just not get fish. If you already have them, then you're going to actually prolong the cycle because you're going to have to do water changes to get rid of the ammonia. You have to do water changes to get rid of the nitrates. And then once it gets, or nitrite, and then once it gets to the nitrates, you won't have to do as many water changes. But if you already have fish in there, you're probably going to be doing like 25% water changes every single day. Whereas if you just wait 4 weeks, then you just let it sit there and you don't have to do anything. So it takes longer. It's easier, but I get it. We want fish now. So the only thing you could really do is water changes and get some prime or some safe to detoxify the ammonia, and definitely buy a test kit. You'll spend $100 killing fish or like $20 on a test kit. So get a test kit. How do we look closely between a lungfish and oxalotl? I'm not sure what that means. Can't find my darned easy green. I gotta go look for it. Sounds like DC. Elon Musk is bringing out satellite internet called Starlink up to 150. Yeah, I've heard about Starlink now. They've been talking about Starlink for like 5 years. I can't move right now to somewhere that doesn't have internet in the hopes that in the next 5 years maybe we'll have Starlink. Like, I love Elon Musk, but let's be real. They've been talking about Starlink for a very, very long time. Ooh, there we go. So that must be a half hour. That's a good indication. 1.5 hour down, 3 more to go. Unless we go longer. I don't know. Okay, thanks. Yep. Let's see. If you have like any more specific questions, feel free to ask Bob. We're definitely here for beginners for sure, because it's a hard hobby to be successful in at the start. There's so many things that require a lot of patience, and we don't want to be patient as hobbyists. We want fish in there. Another good thing you can do is buy live plants, which are like a whole other like category of things to learn besides fish. But the nice thing about having live plants in a fish in cycle is that the plants will consume ammonia, not enough to where you don't have to do water changes daily, but definitely the more you have in there, the more ammonia they'll absorb. And usually if you get plants from like a fish store or another hobbyist, they already have beneficial bacteria growing on them, and you put that in your tank and it'll kickstart the cycle a little bit more. And yeah, so that's the nice thing about plants. How many cherry shrimp is too many? Cherry shrimp in a 10-gallon, extremely overgrown with moss? Probably hundreds. I mean, honestly, probably hundreds. I would really never be concerned about overcrowding with just shrimp. They produce such little waste, it's ridiculous. Koi Fish says, hello Bob, the trio of black bar endlers I received a few weeks ago just had a baby. Is it common for them to just pop one out? Can I expect more in the coming days? You should definitely be getting more than one. Chances are they probably pooped them out and got eaten. So they will consume their own fry. A lot of people will do like fry savers, moss, guppy grass, things like this will help protect fry from being eaten by their parents. So yeah, you can definitely expect more, and you should. What are my thoughts about vampire crabs? So I don't have too much experience with them. I think that they're brackish, though. I could be wrong. So I believe they're brackish, which is why I've never got them. I remember researching them a couple times and always finding out that they're brackish. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure vampire crabs are brackish, which means that cuts down about 99% of the plants I can have in there. It cuts out most of the fish I can have in there. So yeah, that's why I've never done vampire crabs. Oh, the blue was calling you. You finally answered the call. Amanda Jean 165 with the $1.50 super chat with the black cat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bob Jones says, thank you. A lot of people disrespected me and called me stupid because I really didn't know what I'm doing. Oh, that's the worst part about this hobby, Bob. There's so many people like that. We call them the fish police, fish Nazis. They have all kinds of names. Oh, man, it's awful. It's awful. There's some really, like, Facebook groups can be pretty toxic. But you know, here we're pretty easygoing here. We like to give good advice for beginners and to keep them in the hobby. So all my tanks, I guess, ran for 4 tanks. You got 4 tanks already as a beginner? You're starting out right. I should have said no fish in those cycling tanks, plants only. Fiddler crabs. Okay. See, I kind of knew I was wrong. I kind of felt like I was wrong. Fiddler crabs are brackish. Vampire crabs are 100% freshwater. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. So I guess my thoughts on vampire crabs, clearly I have never researched them. I was thinking of fiddler crabs. So if they are 100% freshwater, Brian, I guess my question would be, do they need to get out of the water? That would be my next question. Christopher says Aquarium Co-op has a great forum for beginners. Yes, aquariumcoop.com, and then they have a forum section, and it's very highly moderated. Anytime people are jerks, they get the boot real fast. Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. You guys even notice that my water is green? See, I've got this water is not green, so you can kind of see it. And this water is green, so you cannot see it. I don't know. Well, what am I doing here? Vampire crabs are not fully aquatic either. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. I knew there was some reason. Like, I don't like open top tanks very much. Just because when you have a billion tanks, the humidity gets out of control. I knew there was something. The fish police are the worst. This is the only community I share anything regarding tanks. Yep. There's definitely a nice community with Aquarium Co-op, with KG Tropicals, and you know, I mean, there's so many channels I couldn't name them all, but I'm naming those 2 because they're my personal real life friends. So, are you drinking green water? Yes. Not only is it good for fry, but it's good for humans. This is my veggie juice. Tastes like a compost pile, but it makes me feel really good, so I suffer through it. Keith says, I started building a paludarium in December out of acrylic 65-gallon hexagon tank. Now have 6 tanks and a 55 waiting on substrate. Nice. Fert shirt? What does that even mean? I hope that's flavored water and not green water from the pond. Hey, come on, guys. man. What size cube tank would be good for Amazon puffers? About 6 fish. Man, you would need a really large cube. Like even the 93-gallon Marineland cube, I wouldn't think is big enough for 6 Amazon puffers. I don't think a cube in general gives you enough area for them to establish territories. Whereas if you do like a 4-foot 75-gallon tank, that's a way better scenario for 6 puffers. So like 75-gallon, just a regular 75-gallon aquarium is way better than like a 150-gallon cube. So anyways, Vita Mita Vegemin. It's so tasty too. Almost got 300 people in here. Oh yeah, 314. All right. Doggo's having fun. It's all day nonstop. I love it. Trish says likes compost flavored water but won't eat pie. To be fair, I didn't say I like it. I said it tastes like compost because it doesn't taste good. But I can definitely tell a difference when I drink this versus like eating a pie. Like, I mean, just sweets in general. This is healthy, so I suffer through it. Made vivarium for my crested gecko completely from scratch. Gonna move him in today. I think the plants are established enough. So excited. Any type of like vivarium, terrarium, paludarium. Well, I guess I shouldn't technically say terrarium because generally there's no water in terrariums, but vivarium, paludariums, super awesome. So much fun to build. I'm hoping that wherever I end up, I can have like some people have like wood shops, things like that. I want like a paludarium shop. I want a place like just an entire room dedicated to building like paludariums and vivariums and terrariums. It's so much fun. Silver arowana or Asian arowana. My favorite is always going to be the purple Asian arowana. That is extremely rare. That being said, I wouldn't keep either of them personally, but I think Asians are better than silver. Oh, excuse me. Pencil fish pusher. Kathleen, welcome to the Steen Dream Team. I appreciate it. We are so close to 200. And that reminds me, we are going to have our members only live stream this week. So Thursday morning, of course. Oh, man, excuse me. The vegetables are coming back up. The compost pile. Jalen says, have I ever built my own DIY tank? I have not. The price of tanks in general are very cheap. So the amount of like time and money of buying like the materials and then spending time making it, to me, don't justify. I get like it's fun making stuff, but there's other stuff I'd rather be making if I have time to make something. Now Jeremy Watson, it started. Welcome to the Dream Team, my friend. I appreciate it. We do our members Thursday mornings and Saturday nights, kind of alternating. But I'm gonna be gone this Saturday, so I got to do Thursday. When's the gaming channel? The gaming channel is gone, and it's I do have a new gaming channel, but I don't do anything with it, so don't worry about it. I've got no time for that, which means I do have time for that. Gotta love double negatives. Can you set up Christmas moss? Yes. I'm not sure what you mean, but Cactus Woman says other pie taste test for 75. I just definitely not now. So I'm on kind of a big health kick right now. So I have no intentions of eating sweets anytime soon. Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm set up to go to the gym 5 days a week, Monday through Fridays. I was there for 2 hours today. I'm going back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Every day, 6 a.m., 2 hours. at the gym. So I don't want to waste that by eating pie, something that I don't even like anyways. It's okay for me not to like pie, people. It really is. I promise. I promise. Favorite type of convict cichlid? There is only one type, and that's too many. There's too many convict cichlids. What's the coolest beginner-friendly tank stocking? Boy, the coolest beginner to me would definitely have shrimp. So, you know, pick your color: blue, orange, red, white, whatever. One of my favorites are the chocolate. So there's black and there's chocolate, and they look they're so identical. Like 95% of the times you won't be able to tell the difference until they hit that light just right, and you can see like just a little bit of like super dark red in them, and I think they look really cool. So anyways, pick your poison on any Neocardinia shrimp, and whatever color you like. And then I would do like rasboras. I would do some maybe dwarf Corydoras, and I think would be one of the funnest tanks out there. What else we got going on here? 75k equals 75 bites of a head of lettuce. We'll see. I hate to shoot you down again, but I think lettuce is absolutely worthless. I mean, I might as well just drink water. It's basically crunchy water. That's all it is. It's really not okay not to like pie, Bob. It's one of those serial killer things people should look out for. I mean, I don't doubt you, but unlike serial killers, I love animals. So I'm not popping the heads off of cats. You know, that's usually an early sign of serial killers. And that's just not me. How do I get my pH above 6.5? Well, depending on where you're at, but there's lots of different rocks that'll do it, like limestone. You put limestone in your aquarium. The most popular thing I think is people put crushed coral. So if you have like, I mean, you can put crushed coral just right in your substrate, but some people don't like the looks of it. So you can put it in like bags and put it in your filter if you have a hang on back filter or a canister filter. But crushed coral is probably one of the most common ways to do it. Baby spinach is way better than lettuce. Yeah, spinach, I would definitely do spinach. I love spinach. Well, I wouldn't say I love it, but for a plant, I mean, it's not a steak, but for a plant, it's pretty good. How about a hearty bite of Crisco? Also, anyone got mossballs? It might be hard to find mossballs right now. Are they still kind of in quarantine? I don't know. I don't know what the dealio is on mossballs currently. Freshwater C says, I put it in my filter and it works great. Yay, way to go, Curtis. Daughter and teammates. No idea what you're talking about, but okay. Oh, Curtis just got home from my daughter's softball game. 9-13 for the win. Any good moss instead of Moreno moss balls? Lots of good moss. There's... I see at least 2 types of moss in this tank behind me. Although I couldn't tell you. One of them is definitely Java moss. So right above my head on this right here, this is Java moss. I actually do not like Java moss. And this right up here is why. Right here is why. You see like all this mulm and debris? Like Java moss is like a vacuum. It just sucks all that stuff up, I swear. Whereas if you look on this moss over here, which I would say is like maybe a Christmas moss, possibly, it's hard to say. Like it just looks nice and clean. Now it is by the outtake of the filter, I get it, but still, Java moss just collects debris like none other. Kale is fantastic lettuce. Yep, I would do kale over lettuce. I would do anything over lettuce. Kale and spinach is definitely my 2 go-to though. I tried making kale chips one time. It was the worst thing ever. It was worse than pie. I'm telling you, terrible. Have I kept a fire eel? I have unsuccessfully kept a fire eel once in my life. So yeah, I was unsuccessful. I got it and it didn't even last a week. So I don't know, like it didn't make it through quarantine. So I don't know if there is something I did or if it came in with something. But being wild caught, I would guess that it probably came in with something. I love veggies, kale, broccoli, bell peppers. I love like peppers mixed in with my food, but not by themselves. Some people eat them by themselves, and I won't do that. Broccoli is pretty good, though. Broccoli is probably my favorite vegetable. Maybe carrots are up there. Broccoli, carrots. I'm going to try to grow my own cucumbers this year. We'll see how that goes. How long will Repashy last in an aquarium? I take it out after 24 hours. So it'll definitely last 24 hours, but I've never left it in long enough to see how long. There's many things that can impact how long it lasts too. So depending on your mix, if you mix it where it's really soggy and soft, it's not going to last as long. But if you make it where it's thicker, it'll last longer. So if that makes sense, I hope it does. I so agree about Java moss. It drives me crazy. Yeah, it really becomes a nuisance, and it just grows like sporadically. So yeah, you like this nice clump up here. It looks really good. This clump over here just kind of stringy all over the place, and yeah, I don't like it. Java moss, yeah, not for me. I have in my garden cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, apple tree, blueberries, and strawberries, and green onions growing right now. That is quite the garden. I'm kind of jealous. I really want to get into like greenhouses and growing my own food. And, you know, I don't know. Brisket is my favorite vegetable. I was so disappointed. There is a place by me, and we're like so off topic right now. I'm sorry. There's a place by me that used to have just the best brisket before all this nonsense started. And they opened back up. I went in there, and now the brisket is just terrible. It's so bad. I was just so disappointed because I haven't had brisket in like a year. And I was like, ooh, let's go get some brisket. It's so good, and it was so bad. It was very sad. I didn't even finish it. Like, that's how bad it was. Do you like to eat any fish, like halibut, sea bass, or salmon? I don't really care for bass. I love salmon. I like trout. Yeah, I mean, I do like seafood, except for like squid and clams and that really like rubbery stuff. That's not for me. Vodka is made from potato. There is potato vodka for sure. Here, oh wait, we're talking about fish here. I have a male betta. I'm assuming M betta means male betta, in a 20-gallon with 10 S&P cories, salt and pepper cories. After the first day of getting him used to them, he did perfectly fine with the cories, but he constantly flares at and messes with my nearite snail. Should I worry? If you have a nearite snail that lets a betta kill it, I would definitely be worried. I would be very surprised if it continues to be interested in your snail. And your snail should definitely be able to handle a little bit of abuse from the betta. But my guess is he'll probably give it a rest after a little while. Once he figures out that it's not a threat and that it's not food. Zen Ginger says crab legs are the bestest. I know the Mandalay Bay has the best seafood buffet I've ever been to. Of course, you know, I haven't been there in like a year or two, so like that could have changed over this last year, but yeah, Mandalay Bay seafood buffet is so good. Fish are friends, not food. Fish are friends. What's going on, Chris? Good to see you in here, my friend. Murderer, we breed fish. We don't eat fish. Ooh, it's getting dicey in here. I love eating fish, and I'm a huge fish nerd. Nothing wrong as long as it isn't endangered. In my opinion, the endangered fish taste the best. I mean, that's just my opinion, though. Scallops, lobster, tilapia. It's so good. See, tilapia to me is just kind of bland. I don't know. Like I love tuna. Tuna's pretty good, and not tuna in a can, but like maha tuna or mahi or maha. I don't know what it is, but if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Any experience with checkerboard cichlids? Cichlids. So not personally. I used to have friends that bred them and loved them. But I've never kept them personally. I think they're super cool. They're definitely on my list of fish to have at some point in my life. So I'll definitely, you know, keep them and try to breed them at some point. I think they're really cool though. So I would highly recommend getting them. If you are what you eat, cows are a vegetable. They eat grass all day. Sure, I guess you can make that argument. I love birds, but I still eat chicken and turkey. Just saying. I mean, I love animals, but I'm still a meat eater. So I don't know. Whatever that makes me, that's what I am. Tilapia is too common for Steve. It's all farm bred. I mean, fish that are raised on pellets just don't taste good. They don't. For the first few weeks, I was stocking my tanks for some reason. I always ended up eating sushi and gazed at my new fish. It's like a warning. Hey, Bob. PRJ since 1990. What's going on? Can you recommend a less powerful power head than the Aquatop power head? It seems to be a bit too strong, or perhaps a recommendation on how to dial down the flow. So I've never used the Aquatop personally, so I don't know, but I buy these little small little man, I want to say, like, they claim to be 600 gallons per hour on I buy them on eBay. They're like $8 or $9, and it's not even close. It's more like 60 gallons per hour. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big your tank is, but they're really small, and I just love them. I've never had one break. Unfortunately, I can't pull it up right now because I did not set that part of this live stream up. So hopefully next week I will have the ability to, like, go on the internet and pull it up. But if you go on eBay, and or they're probably on Amazon too, but 600 gallon per hour power heads, they're small. I mean, they're here. Oh, this will work. Oh, I'm so close. They're probably like as round as this piece of silver that you can't see. I don't want to take it out, but so yeah, they're about that round. So they're pretty small. I'm allergic to fish, so I just keep them for pets. Live for danger. Just don't accidentally eat them. I wonder, like, if their slime coat, like, protects you against their allergies. Against your allergy. I don't know. Ethan says, this is my first time watching. Uh-oh. And I'm very surprised by how many questions you have answered so far. John and Corey ran for 30 minutes per question. Yeah, I mean, we all have different styles. They definitely give more detailed answers for sure. Yeah, so I do try to get through as many as I can. And the other thing is, I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's just my style. We all have different styles. Looking at the urban fish farm from Aquarium Co-op, do you have the urge to set up your own situation or just live vicariously through Corey? I never really thought about top-down totes like that until he did them in his, I guess, now older fish room. And the very first time I saw him in the fish, I was so fascinated. I thought they were so cool that I was instantly hooked. Unfortunately, those totes are like $300 a piece. So it'd be very expensive. But I think it's super fun. Like, I don't know. Like, I always thought, like, what? You can't see in the sides. You can only see in the top down. But it's really fun. It's super easy. Like, maintenance it's insanely easy. So I'm definitely on board with that. Would I ever do it? Yes, but it'd probably be a while, and it would be like, okay, I'm gonna buy one of these totes like every 4 months or something, and eventually I'll have it. But Steenfott Aquatics, any local swap or auctions going on soon? Not here. Nope. Our local club is scared to do anything, so I don't imagine anything happening here for a long time. Since they are kind of cichlids, have you seen a stingray and a flounder? I've actually caught flounder before, so I have seen them. And I've also seen stingrays. So yes, the answer is yes. Do you think that the red lizard whiptails were man-made or naturally occurring species? So, I mean, I've seen collection points from them, so I guess I would assume that they're definitely wild-caught fish, not man-made. Parasites for 6 months and guppies still getting sick. Tried general cure, medicated food, Prazopro, levamisole, bare bottom QT, cleaning daily, feeding heavy to put on weight. Now what? Amanda, I would ask, like, what is your pH? There's something that is stressing them out and just wreaking havoc on their immune system. And guppies love hard water and higher pH. So if you have, like, I mean, if you're down in like the low 6s and you have soft water, that could definitely be stressing out your guppies. If you tried all that, the only other thing I could really comes to mind is pH and soft water. PRJ says, thanks, Bob. I have to ask you next week to link me that exact one. Amazon has a bunch of power heads, so your personal recommendation is the one I'd like. Going in a 55-gallon coupe sells the Aquatop one. Yeah. If you're around next week, I'll definitely be set up to be able to pull up the internet and show you. It's man, there's one of these aquarium, like generic aquarium companies on eBay. And I wish I could remember what the name is, but I can't. I'll be able to pull it up next week, though. What's your opinion on the Wallstead method? So I've never read the book, so take that. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you never read the book, you don't know what it is. But I've done it, and I like it. I like dirted tanks, and I'm going to be doing more dirted tanks. I also like Eco Complete. I also like gravel. I also like sand. So yeah, that's my opinion. I like all the ways to do fish tanks, except fish tanks with blue backgrounds. That is just the worst. What's your opinion? What's your favorite V? I can never pronounce that word. I don't know that I have a favorite, to be honest. Just those are not really my bag. I do like them. They're cool, but yeah. My pH is around 8 to 8.2 and KH and GH both at 6. It's like I just can't totally eradicate it no matter what. Is this going through like multiple? Have you bought like guppies from different sources? I mean, you might just have a bad line. Unfortunately, guppies in general, I feel, are getting weaker in the hobby, and you might just have a bad line, to be honest. Now, if you bought if this is like guppies from multiple sources, oh. I forgot the top wasn't on my water, and I just flung water everywhere. That was awesome. Sweet. Oh, well. Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. So, yeah, I hope whatever I said was somewhat helpful. I did a water change Saturday, and my tank is still cloudy. I think it's something that King County put in the water. It happens last year around this time for a few weeks. Do you have any idea why? Grant, I know in our area, which doesn't make much sense because it's been sunny the last couple weeks, but when there's lots of rain after it's been sunny, they kind of increase how much chemicals they put in the water. But as far as like the cloudiness, I'd be curious, is it like the little micro bubbles that you get, or is it like a milky cloudy type of thing? I mean, not that I would know either way. Well, if it's micro bubbles, then yeah, that's one thing, but I'm not specifically sure on King County. I just know Snohomish County, they definitely love to up the amount of chemicals they put in the water after a rain. So, but again, like I said, it hasn't. We had 2 weeks of summer, and now it's back to raining. So I don't know. If it's also, well, the other thing could be if it's a new tank, again, you're going to have that cloudy water, just, algae bloom. But that's not what you asked. So I assume that you know that. I assume. I have Orange Von Rio Tetras, and they can be fin nippers, so beware. Yep. You need high numbers, high schooling, high numbers. None of that made sense. Tetra fin nippers. The more you have, the less nippy they become. There. That's all I was trying to say. That's all I was trying to get out. I think dark blue backgrounds are good for black or dark fish like Tropheus, Bembe, or Morai. I don't know. I mean, every time I've done Tropheus, they've always looked better on a black background. So I don't know. It's more milky white. That kind of seems like it's like it's definitely an algae bloom. Well, I can't say definitely, but I'm like 95% sure that's just an algae bloom, and you're probably just gonna have to wait it out. Keep doing your water changes. You can up your water changes if you want, but to me, it just sounds like an algae bloom, and usually that kind of stuff, when it's in the water column, like algae blooms, that's how you like green water will usually go away on its own. Same with that milky kind of algae bloom. But again, I would only say I'm only like 95% sure that's what it is without seeing it or testing anything, right? But that's what it seems like. I have 10 and they fight like crazy. Orange Von Rio Tetras. Well, don't put them in a 3-gallon tank then, and they won't fight like that. All right, there you go. Bacteria bloom. Yeah, sorry. What did I say? Algae? Yeah, I think. Yeah, you caught me. I think I said algae. Bacteria bloom. Sorry. Blue backgrounds look like swimming pools. Can you imagine a tank with fish? Yep. Reptiles? Yep. Amphibians? Yep. Insects? Yep. Birds? Yes. And small mammals together? Yep. That sounds like something I used to dream about when I was a kid. I got into reptiles when I was around 11 or 12, and would always think about these massive, just big, giant rooms like zoos, right? With just complete ecosystems with birds and man, I've always wanted I've always wanted a giant aquarium with a giant terrarium on top of it with like green tree monitors, and then like a giant aviary on top of the terrarium that's on top of the aquarium with like some sort of finch in it, or you know, something of that nature. I've definitely imagined or dreamed about that kind of thing. Curtis Schindler with the $1 super chat. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Let's see. Oh gosh. Okay. Can I put dwarf Lake Tanganyikan fish in an African community tank with ropefish and elephant nose? So dwarf Lake Tanganyikan fish probably need to be a little bit more specific, but they are those fish come from completely different biotopes. So could you do it? Probably. It's probably being done somewhere. Is it going to be easy to do? Probably not. You definitely don't have to worry about ropefish, like eating your Tanganyikan fish, but I would just be concerned about parameters being completely different. How would you set up a trout Goodyead tank, not tote, tank size, filter, plants, number of Goodyeads? So I have my trout Goodyeads currently in a 29-gallon tank. It's more, they're kind of being held in there until I get my tote set up, but I know you said tank. I wouldn't normally keep them in anything under a 40-gallon breeder. However, they get pretty big, like 3.5, 4 inches. So I would ideally keep them in like a 55 or 75, just for that longer footprint, give them more swimming space. But I think like 40-gallon is definitely the minimum for a group of them. And then depending on how fast you wanted your colony to grow, you can get a trio and breed them out from there, or you could get like 6 and obviously double the amount of breeding you're going to get. So that's really up to you on how fast you want to grow them out. A 40-gallon breeder would hold like 6 adults pretty easily. But when they start having fry, then you got to start thinking about what you're going to do with the fry, because they will overrun a 40 breeder pretty quickly. Wait, was there more than that? Did I answer all that? Okay, tank size, filter. I just do sponge filters personally. So I would do sponge. Plants, any plant. That's kind of personal preference or what your skill level is. The plants in mine are Christmas moss. There's some Sagittaria. There's some Java fern, Windelov. It's just like a hodgepodge of plants I had clippings from, and there's some dwarf hairgrass. There's some micro chainsword. There's been so many plants in this tank that there's just so many different plants in that tank. But yeah, they're not a difficult fish to keep, which is nice. They're very forgiving on water parameters, temperature, things like that. So they're just a really cool fish. I'd highly recommend them. And that's how I would do it, I guess. Which is your favorite prehistoric fish? I'm a big lover of ropefish. I don't know if you want to count that as a prehistoric fish, but I would have to say ropefish. Bob, are you going to work for Corey? No. Nope. I'm going to be doing some work at his house as a friend, but I'm not working for Aquarium Co-op. Steenfott Aquatics, my dwarf lily has a potassium deficiency, and I've had it for about 3 years. I dose Easy Green and Easy Root Tabs. What to do with help? So maybe look into dry ferts for some extra potassium. That's something like our water here is so, I mean, it's like RO water. So when I'm really like into a planted tank, if I'm dosing Easy Green, a lot of times I'll also dose dry ferts as well. And the nice thing about dry ferts is that if you need potassium, you can just buy potassium. If you needed more nitrate, you can just buy nitrate. So you don't have to buy everything. So maybe look into dry ferts, and there's lots of guides online that'll help you figure out a dosing. But if you need extra potassium, that's the way I would go if I needed extra potassium. Will the milky water harm the fish? I got a few cories and a betta of fish. I haven't seen any problems. No. You generally don't need to worry about a bacterial bloom or an algae bloom. Either way, you usually don't have to worry about it. Just keep up with your water changes, and I mean, I wouldn't be worried about it. Steenfott Aquatics trying to use HDX brand 70-gallon totes. I'm not familiar with that brand. Is it safe to use one, or how do you make it fish safe? I'm not familiar with that brand, or yeah. Any tips like cleaning wise before putting fish in? So the thing with totes is don't overcomplicate it. It's just an aquarium that is plastic instead of glass. So treat totes exactly like you would an aquarium, and yeah, that's the advice I got for you. Don't overthink it. It's just an aquarium made out of something else. I just want Bob to tell us a story about fish. Okay. Thanks for keeping an eye out. Steenfott Aquatics, any tips for moving a very established planted tanks, 55 and some 30s, just across town, but have to go downstairs? So honestly, 30-gallon tanks, I probably wouldn't even be worried about removing the substrate. I would just move them with the substrate in it. 55 with substrate is really heavy. I've moved one once by myself, and I never want to do it again. So honestly, the best advice I have for those tanks is to just take everything out and reset everything back up. Depending on if you wanted to risk it, like a 55-gallon tank, the glass is really thin. It wouldn't take but just a quick little, just picking it up the wrong way, setting it down on a corner, just something little can really cause a leak in those tanks. So all the extra weight of the substrate, like I said, I would just take everything out. I know it'd be a pain, but not as much as cleaning up a leak in 6 months from moving it with substrate in it now. Hi, I have a pearl gourami, and I saw he lost a part of his feeler. What do you think could have happened? He has no tank mates. Most likely got caught on some sort of hardscape that's in the tank. It's not too out of the ordinary for something like that to happen. Could have been like rooting around in the gravel and got it stuck, and yeah, a couple different things, a couple different scenarios. I left mine in, but it drained almost all of my water because it was so heavy to carry. Yeah, if it was like an older 55 where they actually still used like real glass instead of this stuff that they're pumping out now, I probably wouldn't be worried about it. But you're taking a huge risk moving a 4-foot tank with substrate in it. So, you know, it's a gamble. Maybe it'll pay off. Maybe it won't. Have I ever kept any darters or other native species? No, I really, really want to get darters. Hoping this year, if not, definitely next year. So I do have one tote available. If it works out, I'm hoping to get some darters and some shiners this year. But if not, I'll get them next year. And I have kept shiners before, but never darters. So I'm really looking forward to darters. John says, I agree. Move tanks as empty as possible. Yeah, well, I only think that on larger tanks, like 10-gallon tanks, I'll throw those around with substrate in them all day. Probably not good advice, but it's so light that I'm really not worried about it. Now, if you have like 4 inches of rock or something in there, maybe, but like an inch of sand, not a big deal. What fish eat other fish fry? Because I want to control my guppy population. I separate the male, but there are always juveniles that pop up that I didn't notice. Yeah, so the thing you gotta watch, like separating males will not stop guppies from breeding. So female guppies can hold male sperm for years. So removing the male after it's already been in there, not gonna help you out. But you got to get fish that have mouths big enough. Almost any fish will feed on fry as long as they fit in their mouth. So that's what you got to look for. Find a fish that you like. Like angelfish will eat guppy fry. A lot of pistos, dwarf cichlids, things like that will eat guppy fry. What was a fish you wish was more accessible, common in the hobby? Rope fish for sure. It's so hard to get a hold of rope fish, and I know Dan over at Dan's Fish has some rope fish in, and I would love to pick up like 6 of them, but between building a fish room and moving, I'm really not trying to bring in any new fish. So it would make sense that he has them now that I can't actually get any. Technically I could, but I don't want to move stuff if I don't have to. So just to buy fish now to move them in a month or two. I don't know. I honestly, I go back and forth like every day. I look at his website and they're there, and I'm just like, I know in 2 months they're not going to be available. I just know it. But they're so cool. They're peaceful. They look really cool swimming around, and you just don't see them very often. Now there's some like super rare fish that you never see in the hobby that I could say, but I'm still gonna go with rope fish, definitely. We got a $5 super chat from Christine Richardson. Thanks for the fish-ication. Fish-ication. I like that word. I've never heard it before. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Bob. I know you're probably not a paleontologist guy, but look up fish from the Devonian, the Devonian period. It's known as the Age of Fish. You're probably like spinning in your chair right now with how I'm pronouncing that. Tips for starting a cold water native fish tank. It would be no different than starting a tropical fish tank. Patience. Let it cycle. That's the key to anything. Just let it cycle. That's all I can tell you. So again, it's one of those things like I'm going to refer back to like the tote question, like how do I set up a tote versus an aquarium? It's still just an aquarium. Same with like native cold water is no different than tropical non-native tank. You still got to let it cycle. You still got to, be patient. That's all I'm trying to say. Be patient. I wish native species were more popular. I've seen some really cool pumpkin seed sunfish. Well, I think they're going to be. Zenginger says, Bob, I bet Haley would hold on to them for you for a while. Yeah, I'm sure she would. I think I saw her in here before we started too, if I remember. I think, maybe. I don't know. That was a long time ago. That was over an hour ago. What do I know? Has anyone's dog ever knocked over an aquarium? I'm sure it's probably happened. I'm sure cats have done it on some of those nano tanks. Have you ever kept or seen frogfish kept? Outside of not in like personal tanks, non-personal tanks. All right, we need an intermission, and by we I mean me, because I've been drinking so much water today. So enjoy.
And now on with the show. And now, on with the show.
I did that backwards. Sorry about that. I played the intermission first. Okay. Whew, I'm good to go for at least another 45 minutes. There we go. Hands down, the best intermission on YouTube. I kind of agree. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think that's a pretty cool song. Bob needs a water change. Yep, it's water change time. I've got a male betta in my community tank. Just don't have any fin nippers in there with him. Oh, is there a question about betta fish tank mates? I don't see it. Anyways, anyone keep Nanochromis splendens? Freshwater sea. I have kept, I think, 5 different species of Nanochromis. Splendens by far being the most colorful. I would say the Consortus is probably the next most colorful, but Nanochromis splendens is an amazing fish. I highly recommend it. If you can buy them, buy them. I know they're probably expensive. They were $30 or $60 a pair when I kept them, so I don't know if the prices come down at all, but absolutely they're not difficult to keep. They're just super rare, which is why they're expensive, and they're easy. They're one of those fish that, like, one person will say these are the easiest fish in the world to breed, and then you'll talk to the next person and he'll be like, these are the hardest fish in the world to breed. So it's one of those kind of fish, but they're just super amazing. I think I have some. You probably have to go like 4 or 5 years back on my channel, but there should be videos of them on my channel. Nothing in detail, like I wasn't doing like real videos back then, but just some short little like 1-minute videos. Really cool fish. All Nanochromis are just super awesome. When I go to college, I'm planning to bring some media and kickstart a cycle to keep some native fish so I can just release them back when I go home for the summer and keep a new batch next time. So I would say that bringing in media, beneficial bacteria doesn't live very long without oxygen. So if you're bringing, I would bring something in a bucket with water and a bubbler, because they burn through the oxygen pretty fast and then they will die. So if you just take out like a sponge filter, put it in like a Ziploc bag, and I don't know, if you're driving like 3 hours to college, however far you are, you might lose all your beneficial bacteria by then. What do you feed native fish? Sometimes I can't get them to eat. I would definitely do live. If I had some that weren't taking any prepared dry food, I would then go for frozen. I would maybe try Vibra-Bites because they're red and they're shaped like little worms. So Hikari Vibra-Bites. If frozen, freeze-dried, and Vibra-Bites didn't work, then I would go live and I would do black worms. Bob, please reboot the 50-gallon lowboy pleco tank in the new fish room. It's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I can already shoot you down there. I apologize. But I won't have room for it in the new fish room. And I'm probably either going to sell it or give it away. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but yeah, I just don't have any room in the fish tank. And honestly, the pleco scape was pretty fun for like a month, but it required lots of water changes. And granted, I overstocked the tank. Okay, yeah, that's my fault. But out of all the setups I've had, the shrimp tank, the I guess paludarium, if you want to call it now, is still going with gudgeons in it. The shellies, shrimp, all that. Yeah, so shellies, shrimp, gudgeons, plecos. I think that's all I did. Shellies were definitely the funnest by far. I'm starting an unplanned fish room. My house it all started with one tank. I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's how I started too. One at a time, and the next thing you know, you got a whole unplanned fish room. Have I ever used floor jacks to support a floor under a heavy aquarium? I have not, but I've heard of other people doing it. So my fish room, both my fish rooms in this house were on concrete, so I didn't really have to worry about it. My new fish room is on concrete, so I don't have to worry about that either. But I know someone who had a 7-foot, like 200 and some gallon tank, and they had to do floor joist things under the floor to support it. Do I like tattoo parrot cichlids? No, I do not like parrot cichlids. Almost done. Almost done. What's my favorite fish? I don't know. Freshwater Sea, welcome to join. Wait, why does it say welcome to join? That doesn't make any sense. Welcome to join. Good one, YouTube. I don't know. But anyways, thanks for joining. If you can make it to our Thursday stream, it's usually at 11 p.m. PST. And that's our members only stream this week. And next one will be on Saturday. Do you have an online lead on Apistogramma cockatoides? I've had such a hard time finding them. All Apistos, you can have a hard time finding them. There might be some people in the chat right now that may have some for sale. I would recommend dansfish.com or getgills.com, and you can find a lot of like smaller breeders there. Outside of there, you could do like the Wet Spot Tropical Fish, which is in Portland, but they do ship as well. Otherwise, I don't really have any sources except Aquabid, but my seller that I bought Apistogramma cockatoides from, I haven't seen for a while, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Of course, what was it? Thunder Aquatics. So if you're ever on Aquabid looking for Apistos and you see Thunder Aquatics, that's very, very good quality Apistogrammas. I bought Fry. I still have them from him. And hopefully by the end of summer, I'll have some Fry to sell. Hopefully. Dude, I put join in your description. I probably did. Probably. Whatever. I can still blame YouTube, you know. I found Apistogramma cambrai in my local river and brought some home. Well, where are you at? That seems pretty cool. Thunder, a little thunder, a little lightning. Hi, what do feed guppy Endler Fry? Very small powder food. I use I think it's something a little easier than what I use. You can use Repashy, like powder. Repashy comes in powder form, and you're supposed to add water, and it turns into like a gel food, but you can feed just the powder. It's very fine. It works really good for fry. There's Hikari First Bites also works. You can even crush flake food small enough, and guppy fry will eat it. Same with Endler Fry. Thunder is where I got all my Apistos, and I have lots of babies now. Sweet. I will trade you green tiger barbs for more Apistos. I want more. I want to be pumping out like 100 Apistos a week. That's my goal. Deb Hall D says Aquarium Co-op fry food is an excellent source as well. Source option. Sourced from Aquarium Co-op. Steenfott, I have a Apisto cockatoo and breed them, and I want a different type. Borellii, Opal, and Benchai is my picks. Which one or other could you recommend? Well, I kind of have a thing for the Benchai. Those are my favorite all-time Apistos, so that's what I would pick. There's also, oh man, I actually, I've had the Borellii, and I've never really liked them, to be honest. I don't know what it is. I've never got them to like be, maybe I'm just have a bad source, but I've never had them to like color up as well as pictures online. And I realize pictures are probably edited, and they always max out the contrast and the vibrant, but still. How many days until shrimplets are fully colored up? It should be almost immediately. They should be coming out colored up if you got a good strain. And Matthew Vargas, if your shrimp are coming out clear, they're most likely going to stay clear. The Geck is now in the vivarium. There you go. I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and it was kind of a rare find where I'm at. Man, I want to go there so bad. I'm jealous. I use mortar and... Oh, I just lost that comment. Dang it. Make powder for bamboo, shrimp, and fry. I use mortar and pestle with a variety of foods. There you go. Wet Spot is great. They definitely have a good selection, but as a company, I probably won't say they're great. Anyways, what kind of plastics are fish safe? Are all the ones safe for food also safe for fish? I'm sure you could get into a lot of arguments with some people, but for the most part, yes, plastic is safe for fish. But yeah, you could definitely get into some interesting discussions. Carson, check out EcoComplete. Not crazy expensive. I'm having great success. What is your favorite kind of substrate for planted and non-planted tanks? My main concern is price. I have a new 60-gallon and I need to set up. And yeah, I agree. EcoComplete, one of my favorite planted tank substrates. However, in a 60-gallon, it could definitely add up. So I use 3 bags, which is $60 in a 40-gallon breeder because I like, deep substrate. So it can definitely add up. So I guess it's all relative on what your definition of inexpensive is. But if that's too expensive, then you could just go to like a landscape yard and buy pea gravel, and then use root tabs, or depending on what plants you need or are buying, you may just get gravel to begin with. I mean, if you're doing like crypts and sword plants or stem plants, any commonly available plant can grow in gravel just fine. So there's a reason that like farms only grow so many different types of plants, because these are the plants that grow well in a wide variety of conditions and substrate and things like that. Now, if you're getting into the more rare stuff, that's when you're going to really need like planted substrate, dirt, things like that. But most of your swords and crypts and things like that, they're grown. Well, first of all, they're grown out of water, but that is the reason that there's only so much variety when it comes to wholesalers, because those are the ones that grow the easiest. I have cherry shrimp, green jade, and a mono. I think it's impossible for it to be a mono. I heard green jade great. I would say that they are green jade and they will never color up. I'm gonna go right there. Definitely not a mono. Wait, where'd it go? And cherry shrimp should be pretty dang red right when they get pooped out. So, yeah, I'm gonna go green jade, because I have still yet to see someone line produce green jades. And yeah, people say I'm doing it. I've still never seen it. I've seen it maybe 1 or 2 generations, but consistently, I haven't seen it. Now, I'm not everywhere. I don't watch everyone. I don't see everyone's line. But if someone could show me, I'd be glad to take a look at someone who's producing pure green jades, like a few generations deep. FishKid61 says, I enjoyed last week's stream with Danny. Danny has also agreed to maybe just coming on once a month and hanging out. So that'll be fun. Again, hopefully we'll have Jimmy on here pretty soon, as long as we can work out a contract and get him paid. Like I said, he's asking for a lot. Holy smokes. But, he's worth it. Snail Team 6, my panagories, and several species of rainbows are all thriving. No losses, but again, I don't use city water. I do use city water on my African cichlid tank. Have you ever had to do surgery on a fish before? Nope. I've never done surgery. Nicholas Smith says, favorite red plant? My dwarf lily is going cray. It's going cray. My favorite red plant is Alternathiae renicii. It's called AR Red. AR Mini, which is red. There's a pink form that's pretty much red. But yeah, AR Mini is my favorite red plant. There's like a super red Lugwidia, which is pretty cool. However, to get it like a really deep red, you really need like a high-tech setup. But AR Mini is pretty undemanding and stays pretty well read. Pretty well read. It is well read. It reads a lot. I would like to keep shrimp with my betta, but not sure if they would be able to breed without all the babies being picked off. The tank is a 40-gallon long. Absolutely, Kenny. No problem. One betta in a 40-gallon is not going to be able to pick off every single shrimp in there. So it's probably not even going to eat adults. And if it's planted, if there's lots of places to hide, it's not going to get all the shrimp either. What do you like to use as dithers for your apistos? Rainbow fish, hatchet fish, pencil fish, tetras, even some larger species of rasboras like brilliant rasboras. Apistos generally are pretty community safe. Now, if they're spawning and fish are annoying them and bugging them and getting in their personal space, they might get a little angry and kill some fish. But generally speaking, they're pretty community safe. And Nicholas Smith, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. AR Mini, look it up. It's a pretty awesome plant. There's also a non-mini form too, if you don't want it to be mini. But T Fish Tank says, sorry, can't stay. Just had to stop in and say hello. Have a great day and night. Thank you, T Fish Tanks. T's Fish Tanks. Whew. I don't know why that was so hard. That's what she said. Anyways, moving on. Just wait until they are bigger. Freshwater sea. My son calls them trout. Oh, wait. What are we talking about, Candy? Freshwater sea. Like 7 to 8 inches or so. Wait. What fish? I'm assuming we're talking about the gudgeons, but I'm just assuming. I hope they're gudgeons. If you're talking about gudgeons, then yeah, they're super awesome. Oh man. Where's the comment? Purple spotted gudgeon. There we go. So I was hoping you were gonna say purple spotted gudgeons. So there are two types of purple spotted gudgeons. There's an east and a west, and they are different because one gets really big and one gets kind of big. They're both very gregarious, I guess. Is that the word I'm looking for? Gregarious? I don't know. They're spunky little turds for sure. They will eat just about anything that fits in their mouth. However, I would not say they're aggressive. I would say they're just eating. So they don't. I have them. I have probably a dozen of them. Candy has them. I don't know that I want to say they're aggressive and that they kill stuff. But if it's going to fit in their mouth, they're definitely going to kill it because it's food. But I've had them with other fish. I have them actually with brilliant rasboras, which is a pretty big rasbora. I also have them with praecox rainbows. And they don't bother them at all because they won't fit in their mouth. So they've got just a ton of personality like any gudgeon or goby. So they're just a really cool fish. They're going to get big though. So one of them is going to get about 5-6 inches. And I believe it's the east version is about 5-6 inches. And then the west version is like 7-8 inches. So they're going to get big. And regardless of which one you have, but it's hard to know which one you have until they're full grown. But they're a really awesome fish if you have the right setup for them. So make sure you have that 4-foot tank for sure. I have an adult male betta in a 5-gallon with shrimp. 3 tanks. I like one that eats the shrimp. Actually, you have to cull the shrimp from the tanks. Yeah. Bettas will definitely eat shrimp, but if you got the room and the plants and places to hide, you also don't buy a betta and then buy like a pair of shrimp. Don't buy a male and a female shrimp and expect them to outproduce what the betta is gonna kill. So the betta is definitely gonna get their fair amount of shrimplets, if you will. But if you put like a dozen cherry shrimp in with one betta, they're not going to have a problem. You're going to be able to have a big colony of cherry shrimp. You're going to be able to feed the betta fish, and you'll definitely produce more cherries than your betta will eat. Have I ever wanted a freshwater crocodile or alligator in your tank or pond? Nah, that's too much. I would do like a What would I do? I would do like a black throat monitor. That's about as crazy as I would get. If I had the funds in the room for a black throat monitor, I think that's about as big as I would go, which is a huge lizard. Like that is a big lizard, but they're basically like big puppy dogs. Whereas a crocodile or alligator is not. And there's also no such thing as like a dwarf. So if you see them advertised as dwarf, then there's no such thing as a dwarf like caiman. They're still gonna get big for a caiman, right? So yeah, I don't really have any interest in that. But a big gigantic black throat monitor, that would be really cool. Opportunistic. I've noticed that. That's a good word for it. That is a good word for it. What are requirements for trout gudgeons, and can you read them? I don't know. Do you mean trout goodeids or trout gudgeons? I don't know what a trout gudgeon is. But if you meant goodeids, that could help you out there. So what are your requirements for trout gudgeons? Yeah, I don't know. I'm prepared for the size. Actually, really stoked. Yeah, gudgeons are just awesome fish. Like it doesn't matter which one you have. Peacock gudgeons. If you don't have the space for purple spot, get some peacock gudgeons. They're awesome fish. Like their personalities are just great all across the board. Candy overhauls, kapow. Okay. Kenny Sindler, get blue shrimp from local breeder from time to time. I would get them if I was you. Casey gets blue shrimp. There you go. Talk to Casey. Get them from a local breeder. A black throat monitor is probably the crazier and bigger than a Cuvier's dwarf caiman. They get about 5 feet, and it's the smallest crocodilian in the world. A black throat monitor is definitely not crazier. I don't think. If you get a black throat monitor from the wild, obviously. If you raise a caiman lizard from a baby, yes, you can somewhat tame them down. If you raise a black throat monitor as a baby, you basically will have a puppy dog if you do it right. It'll sit on your lap. It'll watch TV with you. You can actually train them to come when you call their name. I've never seen really anyone do that with a caiman lizard or a caiman. So yeah, I don't know. I'm black throat monitor all the way over any dwarf alligator or crocodile. Do you have a certain darter picked out? Will you try to collect them yourself? No, we don't have darters, and I'm not gonna go like drive 5 states away to get to darters when I can just pay $15 to have them shipped to me. I agree it would be fun to collect them, but at this point I'd rather just have them. Casey owns our LFS. I'd rather just have them shipped. And there's the green darter or the rainbow darter. I don't know which way I'm gonna go. I might go both, but I'm probably gonna go green. But I love them both, so I don't know. It's probably gonna be like whatever's available at the time that I'm ready for them, whether it's green or rainbow. That's what I will get. What else we got going on here? So late to the party. Yes, you are. Late. Over an hour and a half late. How dare you? Check out Tango, the dwarf caiman on Instagram. She has an awesome caiman that slept on her bed. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I realize they're out there. I do. There's that guy that, I don't know, but there's a guy on YouTube that lives with a caiman. He takes him grocery shopping and all that, but yeah, that's not the norm. That's definitely not the norm. Like the amount of work, you have to put way more work into a freaking crocodile than you would with a monitor. Do you ever gravel vac planted tanks? If I do gravel vac a planted tank, it's only where there's no plants. That's it. In a fully planted tank, I would never vacuum it ever. Tori says planted 10 gallon with Let me start over. Planet 10 gallon with a betta, peacock gudgeons, or Gertrude spotted blue eye rainbow fish. So I would be a little weary about the spotted rainbow, or the blue eye rainbow fish. If a betta decides to get angry at a peacock gudgeon can hold its own. If it decides to get angry at a little itty bitty rainbow fish, that rainbow fish better be a fast swimmer. And generally, they're not. Betta can keep up with a little pseudomcgill. So I don't know. I would feel more comfortable with a peacock gudgeon, but I feel like if the tank was big enough, you could easily do pseudomcgills. Wait, did you say how big the tank was? I totally skipped that part. Oh, 10 gallon. I don't know. Like if it was like a 20 long, I would say absolutely yes. 10 gallon, I feel like it could be a gamble with pseudomcgills. Definitely. But again, it just depends on your betta. You might have like the nicest betta in the world. Steenfott Aquatics, do you know any simple water polishers? Oh, absolutely. You just get just go to Walmart and get batting. The same thing they fill pillows with. Yeah, batting works great. Simple. It's cheap. The only thing you got to make sure is that there's no like chemicals in it. You should still get a caiman. No. Caiman lizard, yes. I would definitely own a caiman lizard. But anything large, I'm going with a black throat monitor. I just, I'm only a certified master herpetologist. I mean, so it's not like I really know anything, but I'm definitely going with a black throat monitor if I'm doing anything large. But again, like having to feed like bunnies and chickens, it's an expensive bill. It's an expensive bill. Bob, I'm having Crips carpeting a tank quicker than Italian Val is. That doesn't surprise me at all because I hate Jungle Val. I hate it. What are some of the hardiest fish in your personal experience? White cloud minnows, for sure. White cloud minnows. Are there any that are commonly referred to as hardy, but you find are not that, or do I find not to be the case? We must be getting towards the end of the stream because I am butchering every single comment now. Hardiest fish, definitely white clouds. A lot of minnows actually, not just white cloud, but a lot of minnows in general. A fish that is supposed to be hardy that's not. I kind of want to say goldfish. I feel like I get some slack for that, but I've seen a lot of people kill a lot of goldfish, and I just don't think they're as hardy as people give them credit for. What kind of reptiles have I had? It would be easier to answer what kind of reptiles haven't I had. I wouldn't even know where to begin that list, honestly. N8344 says, missed most of your live streams again. I will say the coolest reptile that I've kept and I'm really sad to get rid of were my leaf-tail geckos. Anything Europlatus, like I'm all about that. I used to breed Europlatus way back in the day, probably at this point, probably like 15 years ago. And back then they were way more affordable. Now the prices have just gotten insane. But I wish I never really would have, or I wish I never would have got rid of my breeding group. And those are just a really, really cool fish. Lizard. Bob the Butcher. Yeah, but I've got 3 large dogs, so I don't foresee getting any more large animals. Like my food bill is already cray. Can't believe I just said that. Like fancy guppies. I don't think guppies are as hardy as they're claimed to be. I think they used to be really hardy. But I don't think I don't agree with that anymore. There's been too much interbreeding going on. There's hardy ones out there for sure, but most of them that you're going to get at a pet store, not. Are you doing a members only stream this week? Yes, C-Pull. Usually around 11 on Thursday. I know it's supposed to be a Saturday stream, but I'm going to be gone Saturday. So yeah, it's going to be Thursday morning, and then the next one will be Saturday evening. Are there any major differences between dwarf aquarium lily versus a tiger lotus? They look gorgeous, and I want to put one in my 17 gallon. I mean, they look different. That's about it. They're both pretty easy to take care of, in my opinion. So yeah, either way you go, you'll be happy. Trust me. Tampa Town Fishing says, love guppies. Me too. I do love them. Not as much as rainbow fish, but I think a lot of people use them for like fishing cycles, and I don't think they're hardy enough for that. Will some of them live? Yeah, if you buy a dozen and do a fishing cycle, some of them will definitely live. But if you buy a dozen white clouds, they're definitely living through it. Am I camping this weekend finally? No. Nope. Unfortunately not. It's late to me, so I'm going to say goodnight. Thanks, Paul McCarthy. Good night. I appreciate you stopping by always. Guppies are always hardy. Always! I disagree, but that's all right. We can disagree. Like I said, there's definitely hardy species out there, but I think a lot of the, like, if you're buying guppies from Petco or PetSmart, I don't think they're very hardy. I just don't. Regina Phalanges with the $20 super chat says, doggies gotta eat. Yep. He's eating his new toy right now. Wait a minute. Oh, man. He is. Okay, I gotta go again. I'll be right back. Be right back. Okay. So, my Doberman thinks... Oh, you can't even see this because it's green, but that's funny. You guys see this little part right here that he finally chewed off of this? This is one of those rubber tough things. When he gets them apart, he thinks it's food, and he will swallow it. This Doberman has not figured out that toys are not food, and I can't give him ropes anymore. My Mastiff loves ropes, and I can't keep him anymore because one time this dog pooped, and he pooped all rope. So he ripped it apart and actually ate it, and now he's done that with about two of his toys and the rope. So as soon as the ropes or the toys come apart, I gotta toss them and get new ones, which is very unfortunate that he hasn't figured that out. But eventually it'll catch up with him, and it'll be a very expensive vet bill. So that's why I try to catch it immediately like that. So hopefully, yeah, Kong toy. That's what it is. Kong toy. Well, he got it apart. Green Kong toy. Doggy eating something he's not supposed to. Yeah. And now he's never going to leave my side because I have his toy sitting right here. That's all right. We've only got like 15 minutes more to go. Danios never die, but bass lady, I agree. Danios very hardy, especially the giant Danio. That's definitely a good suggestion too. So my pair of electric blue Acaras stole half of my yellow banded Acaras fry. Both pairs had dry fry roughly the same time. Anyone have this happen at all or often? It's actually pretty common. It's pretty common. Yeah, if you have two groups of fish spawn at the same time, I've seen this with Tanganyikan cichlids that I've bred in the same tank, like rock dwellers. I've actually had shell dwellers take over rock dwellers, like Julidochromis fry going into shells. It's kind of funny. Toys are friends, not food. I know. Alternate title: Fish YouTuber argues with fans about caimans make bad pets and how monitors are more manageable while occasionally answering a chat question. Yep. What reptiles do I currently have? I currently don't have any reptiles. Currently don't have any, but I will again once I move and get set up, get the new fish room going. We'll definitely. And I want to find Europlatus fantasticus and hopefully breed those. And we'll see one day. It's like my bucket list for reptiles. What's a good cichlid to start out with and raise a colony that can live communally? I would say Epistogrammas. Just any Epistogramma you can get a hold of. That would be my vote. That reminds me of the time my dog ate her rope, and when she pooped, She spent a solid 3 minutes running from the thing, hanging from her butt. It was gross and hilarious. Yeah, it's nobody wants to pull a rope toy out of their dog's butt. Like, who wants to actually ever do that? Not me. I never want to do that. So, no more rope toys. What else we got going on? No reptiles. Toys are friends, not food. So my pair of electric Pluocara. Yep. The Daniels ever died. Dog eating something. Yep. Good timing, Regina. Oh man, thanks for answering my question. Earned a fan, Logan. Thank you. If you're still here, I appreciate that. Pika, it's a thing. Dogs eat non-edible items, often results in surgery to remove items from their digestive system. Yeah, I found a little piece of plastic that was chewed up in his kennel, and I don't even know where he got it, but I'm like, dude, you got to stop with the plastic, man. So I try to keep everything nice and clean around here now, but you know, that doesn't always work, and they find stuff. Thanks for all the answers tonight. I'll be back next time. Keith Wyatt, thank you. I appreciate it. Hope to see you again next week. I know my aunt and uncle had a dog that ate a plastic bag, and it was like a $3,000 surgery. It was, whew. Sounds like the mic is underwater. I don't know. Is it like that way for anyone else? It looks normal on my end. I had a dog a while ago, somehow ate a phone charger and by miracle pooped it. Nice. Finally put my Cresty in the vivarium. Thanks for answering my questions. No problem, Ruben. Sounds pretty awesome. Things my girlfriend sees at the clinic. A veterinarian. Man, what a lucky guy to have a veterinarian as a girlfriend. Keep the vet bills down, I would hope. Do you get a discount? I would hope. I have a neon tetra and glow light tetra. Can you recommend another color? Dang. And about the same size. So neon, glow light. What about, well, they're gonna be a little smaller, but ember tetras, a nice red in there maybe might be good for you. Ooh, excuse me. And also I would recommend like a lemon tetra, maybe get some yellow in there. Audio is fine for me. Mic is good here. Yep, maybe your speaker is just underwater. Yes, maybe that's it. Stop listening to me while you're swimming in your pool. Boss Hog with the $20 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Boss Hog. So I've been eyeballing some yellow mollies. Any recommendations on tank size? Emily, I'm going to say the bigger the better. Mollies breed a lot. They have a lot of fry. So bigger the tank, the better. As much space as you got, and as much space as you have in your bank account, and you won't regret it. We don't pay for her time, but we pay all the other stuff. That makes sense. My last my vet bill with my last dog was about $6,400 when she had those 3 surgeries in a span of like 2 weeks. Yeah, vets, man, I'm telling you. Cody Smith, welcome to the Dream Team. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. And if you can make it, 11 o'clock this Thursday, a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Any plecos okay for a 16 column? I mean, that's pretty small. You could do like a rubber lip pleco or the LDA08 Clara pleco. Is like a miniature little bushy nose pleco. You might be able to do one of those. Otherwise, you're going to start getting into ones that are a little bit bigger, creating a lot more waste, and probably not worth it, to be honest. But rubber lip or the Clara pleco probably be pretty good in there. Le Grand Chat Nor, I'm sure I just butchered your name, but thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Man, I always feel like a jerk when I can't pronounce the name, but Legrand. I'll just call you Legrand Chat. Nor. I don't know how to say that one. See, still not leaving. You can see is a little bit of a schnoz. You're not getting your toy back, buddy, because you're gonna eat it. Anyone who says any certain kind of dog is cheaper, my pit bull tour both ACLs. That was a few vacations worth right there. Yeah, when it comes to vet bills, definitely I don't think there's something that can be cheaper, but when it comes to like food bills, obviously. Just experienced an emergency vet bill for the first time in my 14-year-old cat. Still, she didn't make it. Unfortunately, the bill doesn't go away. That would be the worst. I couldn't even imagine if I had to shell out that. It was a little over, I don't know, it wasn't 64. It was a little over $6,000. One was like 40, one bill was 4,200 and another bill was like 18 or 1900. But I couldn't imagine having to pay that. And if my dog didn't make it, oh man, I don't know that I could stomach that, to be honest. When they told me how much it was going to be, I was like, okay, like, I don't care. Just make sure she doesn't die. Like, that's all I care about. And, yeah, I know when I don't know. Like, if she didn't make that, I would be really sad. Really, really sad. I mean, you lose your pet and get stuck with $6,000 in bills. Anyways, enough of this sad crap. Twin Cities Guppies, what's going on, Kangley? I'm late, but I made it. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. And that's why I don't own dogs. Well, you know, they told me it was going to be expensive, and I told them, well, the joke's on you, because I would have paid twice that much, easily. 3 times that much to keep that dog alive. So, well, I guess I can't say any pet would be expensive, but, I mean, I don't know. There's certain things you get with dogs that you can't get with any other pet. Will Prairie-Cox rainbows eat guppy fry? No. I mean, they might pick them off, but I think you're going to run into more trouble than what it's worth. If you're only buying the Prairie-Cox rainbow to eat guppy fry, it's just not going to work. Rainbows have very narrow throats, so as soon as they go after a fry that's just a little too big, it could actually get stuck in their throat and kill them. So I'd be very weary. Do German blue rams have to be at 85, or can I keep them around 80? Honestly, I would have no problem keeping them around 80. I've kept them at 78. Granted, the temperatures fluctuate, so it would get into the 80s. But yeah, I never kept them like below 78. Katie says, hey Bob, coming all the way from Manhattan, Illinois. Quick question. Any plant that a clown loach won't eat? I would try probably, I've seen Anubias done with clown loaches. You're going to want something with thicker leaves. So Anubias, maybe sword plants, but I bet I don't know. I don't know if the sword plants would be safe, but I would be pretty confident that Anubias would be safe. And Manhattan, Illinois, I didn't even know that was a place. So that's cool. That's cool. Then Ginger, hey, it's pretty good. I'm just lucky I grew up with that. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, you guys talking about my... Oh, I think dog bills are bad. She specializes in horses, and boy, I cannot stomach those bills. Yeah, but I mean, if you're keeping horses, like, I feel like you should kind of expect that, right? Not everybody who keeps a dog has a $6,000 vet bill. I mean, let's be real. Our guy's surgery was $7,000. Yeah, well, the thing with mine is, mine had to have the same surgery twice. Which was, I mean, that was brutal enough. I'm like, I got to pay for this surgery twice, but, you know, it was my fault, so there's really nothing I could do. Anyways, can German blue rams do good in planted tanks, or will they dig up the plants? No. They are known for being great planted tank. The nice thing about planted tanks with German blue rams is if you have the temperature higher for the German blue rams, your plants just grow faster. So, yeah. Freshwater Sea says, whatever it takes. Yeah, I'm in that same boat. Whatever it takes. Just make sure they live. TM2 says, what up, bro? New guy here. What up? Welcome. Diego, my rams are in a heavily planted tank and they don't mess with any of them. Yeah, they're super plant safe. Really cool fish. Can't go wrong. Thanks for the response. I tried the swords and they tore them apart. Dang. Yeah, I would say Anubias is... If they tear apart Anubias, then there's nothing you could do. You're onto plastic plants. I don't think there's anything tougher than Anubias. I have excellent luck with Java Moss in my Jaguar tank. That's because nobody likes Java Moss, not even Jaguar cichlids. Owner of my LFS said they wouldn't like the taste, so it should work, as he was spot on. Yeah, like I said, no one likes Java Moss, not even fish. I had a new anyways, I had a new I don't know why I'm butchering that word. I swear I can read. I swear I have a college education. I had a new anyways, and the bill wasn't that much. Good Lord. Oh, we're definitely at the 2-hour mark for sure. Whatever it takes. A litter dog Honey had some heart problems, and we do everything we can. Yep. Get out of here, buddy. You got enough loves. You got enough. I know I have your toy. Calm down. It was a little horrifying, but we never questioned it. That's our boy. He needed it. Great ending, too. He's still going. Excellent 4 years later at 11 years old. Yeah, mine after the... mine had cancer and some other issues, and yeah, after that, just made it like another 4 or 5 years for a 100-pound dog. Getting an extra 4 or 5 years was priceless. How about Bolivian rams? How do they do with plants? All rams do well with plants. I've kept and bred Bolivian rams. Never had an issue with plants. They're not diggers at all. They're not like earth eaters. They don't dig. They're going to be like poking around the substrate for food and things like that, but they're definitely not, pulling plants out and things like that. My German blue ram will nest between my Bacopa Carolina. There you go. And that's where we're going to end it. It has been a fast 2 hours as always. And my, look at all these people. We have to thank all 330 people that came to this stream. Well, there was probably like 600 between everyone that came and left. So I want to appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out on a Monday night and talking silk plants, I guess, yeah, and talking fish. It's a good nerd out session. Whew, that was close. And I really appreciate it. I want to thank all the super chatters. Oh man, there was a lot. James, Fish Tank Barn, Lady, Timothy, James again, Multi-Jacker, Tesla, Mr. Easy Go Lucky, Caleb, Kelly, Caleb, Amanda, Multi-Tank Addiction, Joel. Oh, I missed Joel's super chat and Multi-Tank Addiction super chat. Well, I'm just a big loser. Thank you, Joel and Chris, for the $1 super chats, even though you're probably not here anymore. Kathleen and Jeremy becoming a member. Curtis, Hillbilly, Christine for the super chats. Freshwater C becoming a member. Nicholas T. Fish Tanks, Regina Phalanges, Boss Hog, Cody Smith becoming a member, and Legrand Chat to becoming a member. Whew, busy night tonight. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate everyone coming out and just talking fish and alligators, I guess. And I hope to see some of you on Thursday at 11 a.m. PST. If not, I will hopefully see all of you back here next Monday, 5 p.m. PST, as always. And I hope you enjoy your week and weekend, and I'll see you next Monday.